wrestling, brother.
On behalf of everybody at TNA Wrestling, we are so thrilled to have you join our company. The man...
Spine-tingling! Guys, the Hulkster's back!
This is awesome, guys.
Hulkamania is going to run wild again!
Hi guys, my name is George Antoun. I'm from Sydney, Australia. I'm 44 years old. I'm a big wrestling fan and hulkamaniac. I'm married and have one beautiful daughter, and I've been watching wrestling since I was a child. It's my passion, especially when it comes to Hulk Hogan. I've been traveling to the US for over 15 years now to watch WrestleMania and other wrestling shows. Go every year, and I'm not planning to stop anytime soon. Hopefully it will continue until I get really, really old. Now, in regards to my wife has no problem with it at all. She watches wrestling on and off, not a big fan, but she has no problem. She told me to follow my dream, my passion, go to US. If I love it, just do it. If I can, why not? I grew up watching Hulk Hogan since I was a kid. I remember WrestleMania 1, WrestleMania 3 when he slammed Andre the Giant, and I grew through that era where I watched Hulk Hogan. I didn't know anyone else, and I loved the colors. I got attached to him and followed him through the whole years. I mean, now it's like 30 years and it's always Hulk Hogan. So I followed him since I was a child. I mean, people tell me, oh, why don't you follow John Cena? Look, I've got a lot of respect for John Cena, a lot of respect for all the wrestlers. But when it comes to Hulk Hogan, he's got a special place in wrestling. And I follow that since I was a kid, and there's no exception to it. Okay, when it comes to being a hulkamaniac, I'm literally crazy. I mean, when I go to Hogan's Beach Shop, it's like entering a Christmas festival. It's like a little kid at a Christmas shop. I would buy whatever there is Hulk Hogan merchandise. I'm there, I've got it, I buy it, and I keep it. It's not for making profit or anything at all. I always buy doubles as well. It's called, I suppose it's called paranoia. In case one goes broke, I've got another one. But I've never purchased anything of Hulk Hogan for a profit. I've always purchased it for my collection, and I have got no limit on purchasing items when it comes to Hulkamania or Hulk Hogan, or especially the NWO, which was run by Hulk Hogan. Okay, I started watching wrestling when I was I was a kid. I think I was about 10 years old, before WrestleMania 1. Then WrestleMania 1 came in, watched it, saw Hulk Hogan, liked what he did, then followed him, but not excessively to the extent like, whoa, I'm a hulkamaniac, until WrestleMania 3. I was terrified of Andre the Giant. I just terrified. And there he is in the red and yellow, picking him up and slamming him on the ring. It was amazing. That was the turning point for me where, hold on, this is the guy I love. I'm a hulkamaniac. I'm a hulkamaniac for life. When Hogan turned NWO, I was a bit confused. I was like, hold on, I don't know how to make out of it. But it took me a day or two to sink in, and the next day on WCW Night Show when he came out, and Scott Hall and Kevin Nash were around the area as well, they looked like a gang, and I kind of liked it. And then I did this black and white NWO. That was like, bang, that was amazing. I had no problem. I liked him like a badass. It's pretty cool. Like, it's a bit of a change, but I had no problem. I've always supported him in both ways. The first time I met Hulk Hogan, I was really nervous. I'm telling you, I was a wreck. People tell you when you get married, you're in a wreck. It was the other way around. I was very nervous, but I tried to keep my calm. The first time I met him was in Sydney. And from there, we struck a friendship, not very strong, but he knew who I was. And during the years, we kept in contact through Twitter, through Facebook, and personally going to the US. But the first time I met him, I was very nervous. I was in a wreck. I try to keep my calm as much as I can, and I think I was okay. So it's all good. Now, the second time I saw Hulk Hogan, it started in TNA. Actually, they did a documentary about it, and they flew me to Philadelphia. It was Bound for Glory. And that was when I met him again there. He recognized me right away. He knew they were doing a documentary about me, got involved in it. So it was pretty cool. But the second time I saw him in TNA for a few years, and then back in WWE, and then personally at his shop in actually Clearwater, Florida. The next time I met him, I met him a few times in TNA. It was about 4 to 5 times in TNA, maybe more. And then I met him at WWE after that when he left TNA, and that was at WrestleMania 30. Again, recognized me right away. We did a little interview on WWE, and he just went crashing the interview right behind us. It was 3 of us, and that was pretty cool. But the next time at WWE was at WrestleMania 30. It was a kind of part of a meet and greet. Met him there, finished all that. Then WWE took me to do a little quick interview. Then he left his booth, came running, crashed it behind us. It was pretty cool. Okay, at TNA after Hogan left, I was dressed as Hogan. I actually flew that week to see Hogan, and Hogan called me, tweeted me that he's not going to be there because he left that company. That's when I saw him at the beach shop. So I flew to TNA. I can't remember the state it was in, but I was dressed as Hogan. And for some reason, TNA did not like the idea of me dressed as Hogan. I was really sitting center front row. And the security kept asking me to take my uniform off and put a shirt or something else on, but not the red and yellow, which really made me angry. If you watch Bound for Glory that day, you can see my face was poison. Even ESPN picked that up. A lot of wrestling website picked up the interview of what they've done as well. Anybody can Google it, it will actually find it. But it was a point where I really hated going back to TNA because of what they've done. And I've been a big supporter of them. That was one point. But the idea of, hey, you can't dress up as Hogan because Hogan's not here, to me was absolutely wrong when they were selling merchandise up in the top at the same place. But that was a big deal. It blew up into a proportion. I put it on Twitter and Facebook on the same night. My wife couldn't watch the TV, and she was like, George, I can see your face. It was like, you're really angry. Even Hogan, everybody can see it. I was sitting smack right in the middle. That was a little low point. But again, you get the good and bad all together. Okay, Hogan getting erased from the Hall of Fame was the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. These days, when a celebrity says something, or they don't say something, or make it up, or for any reason they blow it into a proportion. What WWE did was wrong. They should not have erased him. There was other way they can deal with the situation. Okay, I can see WWE's point. It's a business. They want to protect themselves, but erasing him was the most ridiculous thing. That day, that week when Hogan was supposed to be in Sydney, I had a $1,000 front row ticket, and I literally sold it because I was really, really angry at it, and I was not happy with how they erased him out of Hall of Fame. Till now, he's still not in the Hall of Fame, which I find ridiculous. You can't erase him. Even if they put any wrestling show on the WWE network from the old days, Hogan's already in it. They can try to erase as much as they can. Even this year when I went to WrestleMania Access in Dallas, they had WrestleMania 1 poster with Mr. T and Hogan. They could not have erased Hogan out of that. They even had, there was a few other WrestleManias that Hogan was in, and they had their photos on. So, I mean, it's kind of hypocrite. Look, like I said, I can understand WWE where they're coming from. It's a business they want to protect. They want to put their distance away, but to erase him from the Hall of Fame was completely wrong and was not necessary. Okay, early in the morning on the 28th was my birthday. I woke up really early for exercising. It was about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm getting all those text messages about my birthday on Facebook. Now, one thing I did about my birthday on Facebook is I took out the notifications. Nobody knows that it's my birthday, but one of my friends knew it and posted it on my Facebook page. The next thing I know is Hogan sent me a private message. Never asked for it and never will. It was just from his own goodwill, posted it, and all the guys, I've got a lot of friends in the US and Canada, were texting me, Hogan, just put a post on wishing you happy birthday. That was amazing. Amazing, like out of this world, because a lot of people I read on Twitter and Facebook, they tweet him, they send him messages, Hogan, can you wish us a happy birthday? It's my birthday today, which I don't like doing that stuff. I find it ridiculous, to be honest with you. No, look, no offense to anybody. Everybody wants someone famous to retweet them or send them a Facebook, which is cool, pretty cool, but it's not me. Like I said, I removed the notification. I didn't want to even tell anybody it was my birthday, but for him to send me a public message, on Facebook wishing me a happy birthday, that was out of the day. That was the best present I've ever got. But don't tell my wife. Now, everybody asks me, how do I get front row camera side to WrestleMania? I'm always front row WrestleMania and the next day on Raw. I shop around for my tickets. I pay a lot of money for the tickets. To me, it's worth it for two reasons. One, I'd like my daughter to see me on TV. Number two, when she grows up, obviously she can see her father on TV, going to WrestleMania and all that. Number three, I'd like to make my presence felt dressed up in red and yellow. I do it every year. I was a bit concerned this year with WWE and the Gorka case and Hogan removing me to a different side of the camera. Never happened, which I really appreciated that because they were doing it before. But I shop around for my tickets. I spend a lot of money on them. It's worth every penny of it. For me, it's not worth going sitting third or fourth row on the other side. Might as well just stay home and watch it on TV. I can't see anybody in being Hulk Hogan. It's impossible. Not because I'm just a Hulk Hogan fan. You go to any person, you got a lot of wrestlers that are very, very popular. You've got Ric Flair. Ask any person, what do you think of Ric Flair? They're going to ask you, who's that? Ask them, Bret Hart. Who's Bret Hart? Ask them Hulk Hogan. Oh, the Hulk Hogan, the wrestler. Even if they don't watch wrestling, they know Hulk Hogan, who he is. Nobody's going to be that famous with their name like Hulk Hogan. So I doubt anybody would be able to be like Hulk Hogan. Wrestling today is different to what it was in the 90s and 80s. Like during the 90s, when you watched wrestling, when you sat down and watched NWO, you believed. These days, it's a bit different, although I still watch it because I'm a wrestling fan. But all the wrestlers now need to have abs, nice bodies, divas and all that. To me, it's not my thing. I mean, back in the 80s, you had Miss Elizabeth. She was amazing. She was an amazing valet. Now you have to have all the divas, tight dresses, short skirts and all that to get attention. Wrestling's changed. Old school versus new school. I'll always prefer old school. But hopefully it will turn around. WWE PG doesn't fall in my books. I think we should be able to watch wrestling all the way, no exception and no limitation. Hulk Hogan, if you're watching, I know you will, I'm going to tweet you this. I love you, brother. I've always followed you. You're a great man, great wrestler. Hopefully we'll see you back in the ring for one more match. I want my daughter to watch you wrestle one more time while I'm sitting front row. What you gonna do? If you're not a hulkamaniac, you're crazy. It's been running wild for 30 years. I mean, I never thought in my wildest dream that after 30 years, at the age of 44, I'm gonna be watching Hulk Hogan or talking to him or seeing him wrestle or even my daughter watching him. I think everybody should follow him. He's pretty cool, very nice to meet, always goes out of his way to sign autograph, never pushes around, takes his time. He's very, very cool. And I think we should push hulkamania as far as we can. Even my daughter, I'm trying, so it's still a bit hard, but I'm getting there.